So today I get to sharpen my dream knife. This is the Benchmade, the 940 Osborne in the green. And man, I've wanted this knife for so long. And even long before people like Wrangler Star really put it out there as the sort of be-all end-all knife. I just love the shape and the design of this knife, the materials. And yesterday I had it dropped off to me by a customer who wants it sharpened. It's S30V, so it's a little bit difficult to sharpen my dream knife and then hand it back razor sharp and beautiful to its owner. But I'm a trustworthy guy, so the owner definitely will get it back. One thing I noticed, let's come in and have a closer look. There's something I want to point out about the factory grind on this knife because it hasn't been sharpened before. So here is this gorgeous Benchmade 940. The owner has a bit of wear on that pocket clip, and I love when a nice black pocket clip gives that look. Just give you a look at the knife here. Just because you won't get to see a $200+ folder on this channel very often. I'm pretty well set up with folders. Maybe one day I'll invest in something like this, but it'll probably be a little while. My money's being invested elsewhere. This is an Axis style lock. S30V steel. It feels beautiful opening it. Check out that nice long profile, nice and thick. Real elegant grind pattern here. It's just got a lot going on. It's pretty complex. It is a beautiful knife. And that Axis lock. Oh, that is nice. Buttery smooth. Now what I wanted to point out, this knife has never been sharpened. And the owner did warn me that there's a little nick in it, which is fine. There's a little nick right. Not sure if it's gonna come up here or not. But one thing you can see is that the factory grind on this knife is extremely coarse. I mean, even at this distance, and this is not an super up close shot by any means, you can see all the striations in that factory grind. Super rough. So definitely it's going to be an improvement to get rid of those. I'm not sure why Benchmade chooses such a coarse grind from factory. I would expect a much more refined edge, but we'll certainly take care of that right now. So given that this knife has a little dent in it, a little nick, and the factory grind is so terribly coarse, I'm going to start it off on a 400 grit here. Now this is a beautiful, brand new stone. This is the Naniwa. I believe you'd pronounce it. The Naniwa. I've heard different people pronounce it different ways. The Naniwa 400 grit. I cannot believe how coarse the grit is on this knife here. Let's just see what a few strokes does on this 400. Okay, I can already see that my angle's a little too steep. Have another look here. Okay, that is really cutting. I've already, just on that spot there where I've most concentrated, I've taken out most of the factory rough grind marks. So I'm just going to work this a little more. Wow, this stone feels amazing. Nice big stone, and it works great for this knife because it's such a long, straight edge. A lot less movement if I don't have to be going back and forth just to cover the length of the straight edge. Okay, it's looking good. I'll start working up on that curve a little bit. We just finished up on the 400 grit here. The edge feels nice, and what's the word I use? Very strong bite to it. Of course, off of 400 grit, very coarse. Really bites. So now I'm moving over to the 1000, which is my wood stock, and I'm just going to rough up the surface. This is a 600 grit Nagura. I'm just going to freshen up the surface, and the material from this Nagura here, this 600 grit, will coarsen the stone. It'll make it, it'll bridge the gap a little bit between the 400 that we just left and the 1000 that this is. It builds a little mud to get us started off with. And you can really hear, you can probably hear that there now, especially with the mic. Hear that really cutting. You can feel it cutting too. This Woodstock 1000, I tell you, I'll never turn my back on this stone. It is just a phenomenal value. It's a 1000, 6000 combo stone. And just the materials used, because if some people are wondering the difference between stones, just because you look at 5 different brands and they all say that they're a synthetic whetstone, it could be all different types of materials. They could be all different shapes and size of particles, different types of particle used. They're not all made the same, and it's hard to keep up with the exact chemical composition or material composition of each one. But it does help when you have someone with experience with the tool telling you. And I can tell you with this Woodstock, the materials used are superb. Even though I don't know, I took a bit of a gamble on the stone when I picked it up a few years ago, because I never heard of the brand before and I hadn't heard of anyone else using it. Wasn't many reviews online, but it was a 1000, 6000 and it was around the $40 mark. So I figured I'd take a chance on it, and I mean, I've been blown away every time. I think I like it a little better almost every time I use it. Ooh, that is a pretty nice keen edge there, just like it is. I'll rinse off that 1000 now, rinse off some of the mud that's on there. And start it off nice and clean, and now it will cut less quickly. It doesn't have that thick, heavy cement slurry built up there. So you can probably hear even that it sounds slower now. Sounds quieter. Doesn't grab the knife quite as much. Now I've moved over to a 6000 right from that 1000. It might seem like a bit of a jump to some of you, but I believe you can really get a lot out of a stone by just changing the pressure you're using. So by running from a 1000, and by the time I'm finishing on the 1000, I'm barely using any pressure, just gliding super lightly along the stone. It makes it act a lot finer on the knife than it actually is. And then when I switch over to the 6000, I'm actually working it pretty heavily, using a fair amount of pressure, so it works quickly. So it's almost like it brings it down a little finer than it is. Works a little more aggressively. And then I'll gradually ease up on the pressure, and by the time I'm done, they're just super light, buttery smooth strokes, and it makes it act like a real fine 6000. Just a beautiful silky feeling. I'm finished on that 6000 grit stone. Now I'm about to do a little bit of stropping on a compounded strop. I had someone make a stupid comment
on my channel recently that went something like, well, if you have to strap that much, your sharpening methods must not be any good. And I think that's just absolutely silly comment to make, because if you think about something like straight razors, which is the absolute elite of sharpening, if you're relying on that blade to shave your face, it's so soft and delicate, shaving your neck where the skin is so thin and you have to shave with such light pressure, you're doing probably 50 strops every time you use that razor. Sometimes if you do a double pass, you'll do 50 strops, you'll shave, and then you'll do another 25, 30, 40 passes on the strap before you do your second shave. So to make a comment like stropping is not needed, well, maybe it's not, but I want to maintain the absolute best edge I can pass the knife along with. If I can pass this back with just that little bit more sharpness than it would be without, then why wouldn't I? So I think it's a silly comment to make something like that. But I've been getting a lot of trolling on the channel lately anyways. I'm dealing with a lot of people. It's a nice feeling edge. I haven't did any testing yet other than the 3-finger test. I'll use my non-compounded strap now, give it a few strokes just because I like what it does to the edge. And when it comes down to it, it doesn't really matter what anyone else thinks, does it? If I want to do 2,000 straps on this edge before I finish, that is just fine. Just like you guys can do whatever you want to do. I'd estimate this edge should be nice and crispy sharp. It's S30V steel. Tried out a new stone for the first time. I'll do a sharpness test on video. Oh boy. You see that? You might not agree with my methods, some of you, but you can't argue with that, can you? Hope you like this video, guys. See if we can get a look at that edge. See if I can show it here. Give me a second, there it is. Beautiful mirror polish. It's not showing up well in this lighting here on the camera, but it is a spotless mirror polish. It's gorgeous. The knife is razor sharp. I think the customer will be very happy. This is sharper than it comes from factory, that's for sure. Should be a fun knife. Should be a real fun knife to work with. If you like this video, hit the like button. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me something. Not too much trolling. Leave me a nice comment for a change. Hope you guys liked the video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Share it if you really liked it. We'll see you in the next video, guys. Thanks for watching.